Welcome to Amud Yomi Shiur. Welcome. Yes, we are in Maseches Makkos Yud Ches Amud Beis. Are we in Yud Ches Amud Beis? Yes, we are. And we are going to do today Be'ezras Hashem Tes Amud Alf as well. We're going to learn more about the beautiful mitzvah of Bikkurim. I was once in a shiur by Rav Brevda Zatzal, and he said, Parshas Ki Tovoi is a parsha which is most extreme. It has the most beautiful scene and the ugliest scene. It has Bikkurim, which is so aesthetic and nice and holy and upbeat and feel good. And then you have all the klolos. You choose where to go. You choose where to go in life. So, and that's before Rosh Hashanah, coming to Elul. We are, this year's Leilu Nishmas, my father, Ovi Moiri, Menachem Ben Akiva, Rus Bas Shalom Sobas Moshe, Hen Yarei Shabbos Elchon Nitzchok, ולרפואת חנה רצימה, פנינה חנה בס גאול הרוכל, וסורך שחר לישראל, הצולס, the whole of Klal Yisrael. Everybody should be saved from Chevli Mashiach. We are now in the line starting with Bila. You know Bila? Bila Ma'akeves Boy, Rab Acha Bar Yaakov. We're starting with the words of Acha Bar Yaakov. Basically, the topic is that there are a few Amoraim who say, and Tanoim, Bikkurim, Hanocha me'akeves bein, Kriya en me'akeves bein, which means, Bikkurim, we say that, what do you have to do when you bring the Bikkurim? You have to do two things. You read, you say out loud the text, Arami Oividavi, V'chulei, and you place the Bikkurim by the Mizbeach. There's also a third thing you do in the middle, Tnufa. You pick it with a coin up and down and back and forth. We'll talk about that later. And the question that keeps coming up all the time in the Sugya is, when can a Kohen, who is the only one who's supposed to eat the Bikkurim, when is he allowed to eat Bikkurim? Yeah? Is it after the Anocha, or do you also have to have the Kriya? Right? Or is Anocha enough? Either once it's placed, it's okay, even though reading wasn't done, or you can only do it if there was a Kriya and Hanocha. That's a question. Okay? So now, Rav Acha Bar Yaakov, Mat Nila K'Rabbi Yassi Omer Rabbi Yochanan, meaning the previous statement, which was quoted by as said by Rabbi Lozo, he is learning at Rav Acha Bar Yaakov as stated by Rabbi Yassi Omer Rabbi Yochanan. What was that statement? Hanocha me'akev, kriya en me'akev. The only thing that has to happen for the Kohen to eat the Bikkurim is placement, placing it, locating it on the floor of the Azorah, Beis Hamikdash. But to get but kriya is not me'akev. Even if the Yid who brought the Bikkurim did not read out loud, did not read the psukim, it's still okay for the Kohen to eat it. And then, because this statement was said by Rabbi Yochanan, the way we see it now, the Kashalei, the Rabbi Yochanan, the Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Acha Bar Yaakov now poses a question, a contradiction between Rabbi Yochanan and another statement of Rabbi Yochanan. Let's see what the contradiction is. Umi Omar Rabbi Yochanan, Bikurim Anoch me'akeves behen, Kriya en me'akeves behen. Is that true? Can we possibly believe that Rabbi Yochanan says Bikurim, the only thing that's necessary, of course you have to do both, yeah? Is the only thing necessary, B'di'eved is Hanocha, just to place it. Once you placed it, the Kohen can chaparain, yeah, without Kriya, and if there was no Kriya, it's okay for the Kohen to eat. Is that so? I'll prove you otherwise. Ba'menei Rabbi Asi, mi Rabbi Yochanan, the same Rabbi Asi, and the same Rabbi Yochanan, same Amoraim. And Rabbi Asi asked the question of Rabbi Yochanan. He asked him, Bikurim me'mosem mutar on the Kohanim. That's our question all the time. At what point are Bikurim permissible for the Kohen to eat? Okay, V'omerle, listen to what Rabbi Yochanan says. We've never seen that so far. That's a first. This kind of opinion here. V'omerle, hareuin l'kriya mi shekora aleim, ve'she'en ruin l'kriya mi she'ro pnei habayis. Which means, as we saw yesterday, sometimes Bikurim are brought to Beis Hamikdash and you meant to read the psukim. out loud. What is that? When is that? From Shavuos till the holiday of Sukkot, right? From Shavuos to Sukkot, you have the simcha of leket, of collecting, yeah, okay, of getting your stuff from the field, and you're happy about it, and that's why it's supposed to say the kriya with joy. And if it's a time of year that you're supposed to do kriya, and you didn't do the kriya, it's ma'akev. Only once it was kriya. If kriya is in place, then the kohen cannot begin to eat it before they were placed and there was kriya. Okay, but v'she'enu in the kriya, let's say you have a situation where you bring the bikurim without kriya. There is no kriya. Not supposed to be. When is that? Till when? Till Hanukkah. I know I said yesterday. I know that. Very good. Very good. Till Hanukkah, from Sukkot till Hanukkah, you bring what? You bring it. You don't read. You don't read the psukim. Very nice. By the way, there are many other cases. Or maybe Ve'enakoire, all kinds of sfekas, 2 trees, not 3, all kinds of other stories. We're not getting there now. But Bekitzer, what are we saying? If there is kriya, you're supposed to wait until the kriya and not eat them before. And if there is no kriya, then nishro pnei habayis. What's all pnei habayis? It's a new gather. Once the bikurim entered Beis Hamikdash, once the bikurim, the basket with the shivas aminim, or part of them, was brought into pnei habayis, the face of the house, the Beis Hamikdash, then the kohen is allowed to eat it. That's interesting, right? So now the Gemara is asking, kasha kriya, kasha anocha anocho. Let's see what's going on here. There are 2 contradictory statements regarding kriya. Why? On one hand, you're telling me kriya, you made a sweeping statement, Rabbi Yochanan. Kriya is not, it's good l'chatchila, it's not me'akev. And then we saw in the other memra, kriya is me'akev. If you bring it between Shavuos and Sukkot, kriya is me'akev. Very good. Not very good, because you're contradicting yourself. And then what about hanocha? Hanocha is also difficult. You told me, that hanocha is me'akev. That's not true. Hanocha is never me'akev. Either you need to do kriya when in place, and when there's no kriya, you don't need hanocha. Hanocha is never a parameter. Once they're pnei habayis, even before hanocha, once they are inside, then the kohen can start eating. The kohen can start grabbing from the basket even before anything happened. Yeah? Hi, welcome. Right away. Yeah? Once they're inside the pnei habayis. So the whole thing is one big contradiction. Yeah? Is hanocha necessary or not? Is kriya necessary or not? Make up your mind, kivyochol. Answers the Gemara, very good. Kriya lo kasha, one by one. Is kriya me'akev? Let's talk now about between Shavuos and Sukkot. Kriya l'chatchila is in place. Is kriya me'akev? Lo kasha. Oh, b'shimon harabonon. Remember? That's how the whole sugya started, right? In our Mishnah, right? There was the whole big Rabbi Shimon with a huge pasuk with all the limudim. That's how it started. Rabbi Shimon and Rabbanon had a machloikis. Rabbi Shimon said you need anocha, right? Rabbi Shimon said, I'm getting confused. Oh, shame in my head. 1 second. Rabbi Shimon said you need. Rabbi Shimon says koro. You need kriya. Yeah. You need kriya. Rabbi Shimon was more machmir. Yes. Rabbi Shimon said, man, was machmir. Rabbi Shimon said you need kriya. Hanocha and kriya you need, right? And Chachamim say it's enough just to have hanocha. Okay? Machlokes tanoim. I'm Rabbi Yochanan. I'm an Amoira. I'm not paskening. I said, according to Rabbi Shimon, it's this way. According to Rabbanan, that way. Hanocha, nami lo kasha. The seeming stira, whether hanocha is me'akev, or maybe even before hanocha, if the kohen ate it, it's fine. Yeah, or ate some of it, it's fine. Hanocha, nami lo kasha. It's not difficult. Why? Ha Rabbi Yehuda v'or Rabbanon. A new opinion, a new name in town, Rabbi Yehuda. Not new, but new in the sugya. Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbanon apparently argue whether hanocha is me'akev. Of course, they have to do hanocha. Is hanocha me'akev or not? Now, the reason why, before we continue, Rashi told us, I don't think we read Rashi inside, as we usually don't. Rashi said in Daf Yud Zayin, the reason why hanocha is me'akev. How do you know that hanocha is not just something l'chatchila, but it's me'akev, it's necessary, you can't go on without it, and the kohen cannot eat, right, before hanocha? That is because it says twice hanocha. It says v'henichoi v'inachtoi. It says one time that the kohen puts it, Another time it says that Yisrael puts it. Maaser, there are no two hanochos. Yeah, it's not like you repeat it twice. Everyone agrees to that. So why does the Torah say twice, you put, he puts, what's the story? Pashut. When something is mentioned twice, it's coming to emphasize and tell me, you just can't go on with that. You can't go on. You can't go forward without it. And the coin is not allowed to eat before Hanocha. That's Hanocha is mentioned twice to tell me we are not moving forwards, you Mr. Cohen. We can, eye those very lush, beautiful olives and figs, bug-free. You can't begin to touch them and eat them before Hanocha. That's Hanocha twice. That was the original idea before. Apparently, this itself is Machlokes Abid and Rabbanon. Let's see how the Gemara, now when they gave the introduction about the double Hanocha, Be'ezus Hashem, you'll get it clear. Yeah, my Rabbi Yehuda. One second. Where did we see the Rabbi Yehuda does not believe that Hanocha is Ma'akev? Rabbi Yehuda, he is the opinion that says that even if the coin chaps and eats a little bit before the Hanocha, okay, he's allowed to. Once it's indoors, once it's in the Beis Hamikdash, it's okay for the Kohanim to eat some of it, and then you do the Hanocha. My Rabbi Yehuda, which Rabbi Yehuda is that? Where did Rabbi Yehuda say it? The Tanya, it says in the Brisa, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, v'hinachtoi zoi tnufa. Really, when it says hinachtoi, it doesn't mean to place. You know the word manche? What's lahanchot? Lahanchot?
What is the land?
No, that's linchot. That's linchot. That's linchot with your L plane. No, lahanchot et ha'irua. No, to guide, to host an event. Lahanchot the host. Lahanchot in modern Hebrew is to be the MP. No MP. I meant the MC. MP is terrible. Yeah, the MC, right? Yeah, lahanchot. But lahanchot in Torah language, when it says, yeah, lo necham Elokim. Derech Eretz Plishtim, lahanchot saderech is to guide, to lead. Oh, therefore says Rabbi Yehuda, ve'inachtoi does not mean to put and place, la'aniach. Inachtoi means to pick up and take it to different directions. What do you do when you do tnufa? You do truma and tnufa. You do up and down, sidewise to all directions. You are manche. You're taking it to different directions all over. So really, ve'inachtoi means tnufa. Frek the Gemara, the Braisa, Atomos the Tnufa, that's a very innovative grammatical idea. Nice. How do you know? Maybe Nacht means Poshup Pshat, Lahaniach means to put, to place. Says Rabbi Yehuda, no. The Hanocha is already mentioned. Of course, it has to be Hanocha, but the Israel, he has to eventually put it on the ground to base a mikdash on the floor. But that's already mentioned. Why does it have to say the same thing twice? Did you just realize what Rabbi Yehuda did? What did Rabbi Yehuda did here? What did Rabbi Yehuda do here? What did Rabbi Yehuda do? What did he do? He says, that it says twice in Achtoi? No, it's not the same word mentioned twice for extra emphasis to tell me it's me'akev, but rather these are two different words. This is grammar class for you, dikduk. One word means to take up and down and to lead, v'chule, to pick it up and down and sideways, yeah? And the other, hinachta, means hanacha, placing, locating. So really, the locating, the hanacha, the boom, plunking it on the floor, is really only mentioned once, according to Rabbi Yehuda. Aha, mimele, if it's not mentioned twice, you don't have the ikur. Get that? You don't have that extra word to tell me that this is necessary, this is, unforgivable, and it's ma'akev, because it's not mentioned twice. They're two different words, two different, maybe the same shayrish, even that I'm not sure about. Yeah, the maaser, one is lehanchot, to take up and down and move it around. And the other one is to place. Mimela placing is mentioned once. Mentioned once, okay. It's just a regular mitzvah. It's not me'akev. So what's me'akev? Once it enters the bais, as we'll see later. Also, give me a second. You okay? I'll hear you soon. Uman Tana, first wide line. Uman Tana, the polyglot of Rabbi Yehuda. Who is the Tana that disagrees with Rabbi Yehuda and believes that Hanocha is me'akev, and Hanocha is something you just can't go on without, and if the coin eats it before the Hanocha, then that's bad news. Yeah. So what happens to that kohen? Which Masechta are we in? Makkos. A coin that eats the bikurim too early, he chaf. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I saw a coin alive. Yeah, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakovi. The Tanya, it says in the Brisa, "V'lokach a coin atenim yodecho." It says we didn't learn it yet in our sugya. The coin takes the tene, the basket from your hand. Limud alebikurim shetunim tnufa. Divrei Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. Very good. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says no. The word yanchem here, the word v'inachto is not tnufa. Tnufa is mentioned otherwise. Tnufa is mentioned by lokach hakoyin. The kohen takes it and he picks it up and down. Soon you're going to see how he knows he picks it up. He picks it up. He lifts it up and down. He bobs it. We'll see later. But the maaser, the source for tnufa is not learned from the v'inachtoi or v'inichoi, yeah, but rather it's learned from lokach miyadecha. He takes it from your hands. That's Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. My time at Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. How does Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov see that if he takes it from my hand, it means picking up and down? I may take something from your hand and just hold it. Who says you pick it up and down? Who told you that? Says the Gemara, I'll tell you. Bishlam, according to Rabbi Yehuda, we know. Because what's lehanchot? Lehanchot means to lead in different directions. Like Hashem led us in a Sinai desert, to lead means here and there. I'm leading to a direction. Otherwise, I'm not a leader. Yeah. According to Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, all it says, the coin takes it. He takes it. Everything I take from your hand, I pick up and down. Give me a second. Elamai. My time, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. Asya yad mishlomim. In the parsha of Shlomim, the parsha Tzav, it says over there by Shlomim, it says about the Israel, the one who brings the Shlomim. It says there that 1 second. It says Hamakri v'zebach Shlomo v'Lashem Yovi v'chule Yodov teviena, and then he picks it up and down. It says mefurish that a person who has to bring Shlomim, and it says lehanif oisoi tenufa. You bring your Shlomim. Why do you bring Shlomim to Beis Hamikdash? You're in a good mood, that's why. Yeah, so now what? Yeah, you bring the Shlomim to Beis Hamikdash, you pick it up and down, mefurish. So what does that have to do with Bikkurim? Says the Gemara, very good. Asya yad mishlomim. There's something called in halacha gezerah shava. Gezerah shava yad from shlomim. Ksiv, it says over here about Bikkurim, v'lokach hakoyin atenim yodecha. It says the kohen should take the ten of the basket from your hands. The ksiv, and it says about shlomim, nothing to do with Bikkurim. When I bring korban shlomim to Beis Hamikdash Be'ezras Hashem in a few days' time, Yodov bli neder, Yodov tevienes Isha Hashem. Very good. It says his hands should bring Isha Hashem, and it says Tnufa yad. The problem is though that over there, here it says who's taking the basket for me? The kohen. The kohen takes it. So let me try and figure out what's going on here. By Bikkurim, the kohen. It says the kohen shall take it from your hand. So he's the one picking up and down. There by Shlomim, it says if you bring Shlomim, you have to do the Tnufa, and the Teruma and the Tnufa. If so, now the Gemara is going to merge the whole thing together, one big happy family from the Gzera Shova. It says, Makan Koyen, Aflalan Koyen, just like over here it says that the Kohen is the one who's doing the lifting and thing, the Tnufa and the Haroma. Aflalan Kohen, by Shlomim, also the Kohen does the picking up. Malalan Bailim, just like by Shlomim it says Bailim, Afkan Bailim. So here what's going on here? We mix them all together, and we say that in both cases, the Kohen has a chiyuv to pick up, and also the owner. HaKetzad, how do you work that out? How does that work? Maniach Kohen Yodav Tachas Yedei Bailim Umeiniv. They do it together, 1, 2, 3, and the Kohen places his hands under the hand of the Bailim, and together they pick it up, they lift it. It's a machlokes rishonim, because some say, Tosis in Kiddushin says that it's a chatzitza. I'm not sure Tosis in Kiddushin, I have to check it again. I think so. Somebody definitely says it. You can't have one hand under the other. Because if there's a halacha that I have to pick it, so the one underneath is interrupted to the one above. Therefore, there's an opinion that says, what? They're not touching the basket, it's a problem. No, that's a problem. Whoever's not touching. There is an opinion that says it's not chatzitza. Not touching what? It says maniach tachas yadoi. The push, but both kohen and bainim are supposed to touch l'choira. That's posh. That's what some Rishonim hold for sure. Tosfos. So Tosfos says, you know what they do?
Maybe
One
it's
of them puts
offset.
over here and one over here, different places.
Maybe it's offset.
What do you mean offset? What do you mean?
Offset. Here's
But
my
that's why I
hand.
said side by side.
Here's the
So
covenant.
that, but it says tachas idei bainim. It says under. I mean halfway. Still not all hand is touching. Okay, maybe. Tachas, a woman is also a problem. We're going to touch on that soon. Excuse the pun. So kohen under the bailim either means that's a bailim and that's a kohen, or thank you for the teacup, or kohen tachas at the bailim, the kohen here and the bailim here. Yeah, completely different places, more or less like you're saying. Yeah, he is here and he is by this basically, and that's a good solution for women because sometimes women also bring korbanos, and the kohen doesn't want to touch the women, hopefully, and therefore that's a solution to do this and this. Some Rishonim hold it's not a chatzitza because they both have a chiyuv. It's min b'minoi. They hold it's not chatzitza, and there is a cue over here. Rabbi Peretz, what's your question? And then you. Omar Rove Barada, Omar Yitzchak. Bikurim memosai mechayvin aleim. At what point is the Israel? Up until now, we've been focusing on the Kohen who's hungry and he really wants to eat those bikurim to be mekayim the heilige mitzvah, not for his own tithe. Now the question is, what about the Israel? Israel who eats bikurim, what do you do to him? Israel gets misa b'dei shamayim. Israel who eats bikurim, it's truma. It's a form of truma. What kind of food you get misa b'dei shamayim for? Truma, the real truma from the fruit. Trumas maaser, bikurim, and challah, because they're all called truma in the Torah. So therefore, bikurim, at what point am I chayev misa b'dei shamayim chas shalom if I ate the bikurim? Which means if I pick the bikurim, yeah, in my field, that's what you do, right? You tie some kind of thread on it to recognize, to mark. This is my first fig, let's say. And then it grows and it keeps growing. And then when it gets to the stage, I pick it and I take it in the basket to Yerushalayim, the fig, right? Let's say I decided to eat the fig. At what point is it called heilige enough that if I eat it, I'm chayev b'misa b'dei shamayim? That's a question. Yeah. So answers the Gemara, Mishiru pnei abayis. Mishiru pnei abayis. Once they saw the pnei abayis, once they entered Beis Hamikdash, at that point, they're called Bikurim. They received the Kedusha of Bikurim. And at that point, Israel is not allowed to eat them. And if he does, that's bad news. Keman, who do we follow? The Tana. The Tana Rabbi Eliezer says as follows. Rabbi Eliezer Oimer. Bikurim, mikzoson b'chutz, mikzoson b'fnim. Let's say some of the Bikurim, you have a big basket of Bikurim, and you have, let's say, a few many olives. I speak about grapes all the time. Many olives. You have olives, many of them. Half the kli is inside Beis Hamikdash, and half the kli is outside. You just left it there, half in, half out, maybe by Shar Nikonor, something like that. Half in, half out. So now, what's halacha regarding those bikurim? I'm Israel, and I'm tired, and I'm hungry from the whole way, and I want to get the kedusha of bikurim also. What happens if I chop an olive or two from the basket? Am I chayiv misa? Well, depends. Shebachutz haren kechulin chol divreim. Shebefnim haren ke'ekdesh l'chol divreim. Very, very good. Yeah, in other words, those bikurim depends. What did we just say? If the bikurim are indoors in Beis Hamikdash, they're already boom. The kedusha is basically chopping them, grabbing them. Now they're kadosh. The very same, not the very same. In the same basket, you have other zaysim outside. Yeah, they are located in half of the kli that's outside Beis Hamikdash's holy part. Then what do we say? You're not chayiv if you eat them because they're chulin l'chol divrayim. You're allowed to eat them. They only become sanctified once inside. I'm not sure if inside means inside Ezras Koyanim, Ezras Noshim, L'choira, the inside of where the Koyanim are, the real area where the Mizbech is L'choira. I think so. I have to see the Rambam. I didn't see the Rambam yet in this one. That's a Chorb shot. By the way, the Ritva points out that this has to do with Sugi and Shabbos. those of us who come to my shiur in the evening or otherwise follow the Shabbos Amud Yomi, we recently saw a sugya that says it's not so pashut. If you have two items in one kli, and one part of the kli is in one area, the other part is the other area, could be that the entire kli, with everything that's in it, is considered to be in one place. Eged kli. In other words, if you have one vessel that contains fruit, let's say, some of them are inside, some of them are outside, some people say that the whole kli is judged by the one significant reshus. According to this, if you have kli half in, half out, then what? Then you'd be chayiv on everything. They're all kodesh. So then you have to say there are two kelim. According to that opinion, you'd have to say he brought two baskets of bikurim, one grapes, and the other one also grapes. Doesn't matter. One kli is inside, one kli outside. They're completely separate. Those inside are holy, those outside are regular chulin, and if you're allowed to eat them, the chulin. Okay? They're not called hekdesh. The maaser, the Gemara does not bring a source for this, if you noticed. The Gemara does not say while you're opening a bais. At this moment, the Gemara doesn't bring me a source. Bli neder, I want to look here in the Rambam and see in other Rishonim. Haven't seen in the Ritva a source either. The Gemara just says here open a bais. That's the crucial point when it become heilige. Now let's continue more about Bikkurim. Omar of Sheshes. Bikkurim hanocha me'akeves bahen. Kriya en me'akeves ben. Again, the same story. Now on behalf of Rav Sheshes, what does Rav Sheshes say? Bikkurim hanocha me'akeves. Once it was hanocha, that's not enough. Yeah, in other words, hanocha me'akeves bahen. Before hanocha, it's not enough. Sorry. Once you have hanocha, once the Bikkurim were munach located, before that you can't eat it. Once located, the Kohen may eat it. Kriya en me'akeves bahen. Even though the Yisrael did not yet say the text, nish geferlich. If the Kohen ate, it's fine. Only the hanocha, that's the crucial stage. Yeah, before hanocha, it's treif. Also for the Kohen, it's called the matir. The matir, the point that makes it mutar for the Kohen, is the locating on the floor next to the mizbech. All very nice. Come on, who do you follow? Well, we've seen other opinions already. We're looking for another Tana to support Rav Sheshes. Kiai Tana, look at the following Tana. This Tana, makes us miss Beis Hamikdash. He talks about, are you allowed to eat maaser sheni and other things nowadays, 2024? Can we eat the holy stuff in the old city of Yerushalayim today? The Tanya. Rabbi Yossi Omer, shloisha dvorim, mishum shloisha zakenim. Rabbi Yossi quoted three elders, three sages. Yeah, each one he quoted is saying one thing. It's Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Akiva, and Ben Azai. Number one is Rabbi Shmuel. I don't think the other ones will be quoted. Rabbi Shmuel says as follows: Question is as follows. A lot of machlokesim here. Let's assume nowadays you chai b'maaser. Yeah, that's also a question. Is there Eretz Yisrael b'chlal holy nowadays? There's no Beis Hamikdash, exile. Most of Bnei Israel are not here in Eretz Yisrael. Maybe now it's changing, I think, Baruch Hashem. But right now, the Kedusha, there's a big question, which we'll meet later on. Is the original Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael the first Kedusha of Yoshua? There's a question. The second Kedusha of Ezra, the re-sanctified it. Do we say that the Kedusha still applies? Is, of course, now don't get emotional with me over here. I'm asking right from the start. Eretz Yisrael, all of you here are maaser nefesh to come to Eretz Yisrael. The truth is, you had the person on Nagia. You wanted to come to a place with very good service. When you feel like a king when you enter the store, when you complain a little bit and everyone bows down to you. That's why you came to Eretz Yisrael. Don't fool me, right? No, of course, yeah. So then, Elamai, besides all these things, high-tech nation, v'chulei, Eretz Yisrael is a very special place. But let's get very halachic and litvish. Do the mitzvahs of Eretz Yisrael, the Kedusha of Yerushalayim, I'm talking about two different things here. Do they apply nowadays? Let's assume, as we are knowing today, Trumas u'Maasros apply. You're supposed to take Trumas u'Maasros. So it's also Chiddush. Not everyone holds that way, by the way. Rashi and Tosfos point out, let's say that maaser you have to take, you live in Ra'anana, and in Ra'anana you have a nice, grapevine over there, and what? You want to take maaser sheni. We don't have Beis Hamikdash nowadays. Nowadays is either in the times of the later years of the Mishnah and sadly, yeah, Tafshin Pei Daled, am I supposed to eat the maaser sheni without pidyon? I don't want to be poida in Ranana. I want to make a trip to Yerushalayim, go into the old city, Baruch Hashem, it's in our hands, go there, and between the Rehov Chabad and the Cardo, in the old city of Yerushalayim, I want to eat my maaser sheni. Can I do that nowadays? Does the Kedusha of Yerushalayim itself is still there? There are 10 levels of Kedusha in Eretz Yisrael. You know, the famous Mishnah, Esra Kedusha saying, Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, Kedusha of Yerushalayim. Is the Kedusha of Yerushalayim still there? Not Chodosh is feeling good. Is it really a place to eat maaser sheni, even though Beis HaMikdash is already sadly not there? That's a question. Big question here, of course. Nogel halacha. Are you supposed to take, yes, you have a lemon tree, lemon is not doraisa, according to some. You have a lemon tree in your backyard, like a lot of people in Ramat Bet Shemesh. My neighbors have pomelos. Can my neighbor take his pomelo, maaser sheni, go to Yerushalayim, Baruch Hashem, it's a 35 minutes drive, and go to the old city and eat the pomelo as maaser sheni? Yes or no? So let's see what the Bryce has to say. Rabbi Shmuel Omer, Yochol, Yale od maaser sheni bezman hazeh b'Yerushalayim v'yochlenu. Is that possible or not? What's the question? Beis HaMikdash is not there. Does the Kedusha of Yerushalayim still exist vis-a-vis Maasers and other things? We'll see soon. Although Beis HaMikdash is not there, or do you say no? No, the Beis HaMikdash is not there. Out of the game. The engine, the motor is not there. You just have the shell of the car. You don't really have Kedusha without Beis HaMikdash. Okay, good question. Vidinu, the Gemara now wants to learn it from Bechor. Everything will get clearer, Be'ezras Hashem, as we go along. Medinu, you can learn it from Din, usually called V'chomer. Here it's more like B'mematzino, I think. B'chol, ton havas mokoin, u'maaser sheni ton havas mokoin, which means, as we saw in the big pasuk that we learned, with all the many details, two of the items mentioned in the same pasuk are maaser sheni and b'chol. What's havas mokoin? Ton means requires. Maaser sheni requires to be brought to the place, Yerushalayim. And Bechor is required to be eaten by who? Either by the Kohen. The Kohen eats the Bechor, where? In Yerushalayim. Okay. Ma Bechor eno lebifnei habayis, af maaser eno lebifnei habayis. Just like Bechor, the Gemara will say later where we know it from. Right now, please accept it as an axiom and do everybody a favor. Right now, Rashi himself says we have to wait for later. Later on, we'll know why. Right now, we highly assume that Bechor clearly is only bifnei habayis. Eating the korban of the Bechor only applies when Beis HaMikdash is around. Bifnei habayis. You need Beis HaMikdash to be there, right? No, not Mashenken, sorry. So to maaser, the good friend maaser, b'mematzinu. Maaser that requires to be eaten in Yerushalayim, just like the Bechor, also requires Yerushalayim mit the heilige Beis HaMikdash there too. If you have this horrible golden zach over there, that golden kippah doesn't really do the trick. No, you need the Beis HaMikdash to be there. Just like for Bechor, it's poshut. It's already an axiom, but Bechor requires bayis. So to maaser sheni requires bayis. So I'm so sorry, the guy from Ranana and his wife should stay in Ranana and eat the maaser sheni there only after pidyon. Be poider your pomelos and melons and grapes on money, and then eat what you want. But as long as Beis HaMikdash is not there in Yerushalayim, you're not allowed to go to Yerushalayim and eat the maaser sheni. Because you eat the maaser sheni in Yerushalayim without pidyon, and Yerushalayim is not holy, then you're eating maaser sheni without pidyon. Ooh, maaser sheni without pidyon. Leshes, not allowed to eat maaser sheni without pidyon. Very good. How do you know that from Bechor? Just like if it's true for Bechor, so too it's true for maaser. That's what we're assuming now. Okay. Frag the Gemara, excuse me, you didn't give me any reason. You just assumed that Bechor and maaser are the same, right? They both needed to be in Yerushalayim, so all the rules apply to both of them. No psukim, no droshes. Now the Gemara is going to attack that, and the Gemara will try to differentiate between Bechor and maaser sheni. I want to give you another small introduction. It may occur to you. You may ask a question. Well, a Bechor, of course. A Bechor is a korban, so of course you need Beis HaMikdash, right? Of course you need Beis HaMikdash. Well, that's not so simple. It's not so simple. And apparently, according to some Rishonim, even today, you may bring a korban even though there's no Beis HaMikdash. As long as you know the place, that's a big controversy by controversial people, Yeah, if you, according to some people, it's not a funny opinion, it's an opinion. If you have the makom, if you know where the makom of the mizbech is, if you can figure out, you go to Arabite, which is not, you're not supposed to, by the way. I'm not going out to all the questions yet. But if you are Tahor, you want to go to Arabais and what? And you know where the Mizbech is, you can spill the blood in the place of the Mizbech, even without the Mizbech being there. All I did now was divorce the existence of Beis Hamikdash for bringing korbanos. Conceptually, according to some, you may bring a korban even though Beis Hamikdash is not there. That just as a side point, put it now in the back burner. Just realize that it's not clearly necessary for korban to have Beis Hamikdash. I'm not saying yes or no. Remember, there is such a thing, and just put it now, put it in a dormant mode for now. Okay, but we still said now that bechor does, in order to eat the bechor, not for the korban now, to eat the bechor inside Yerushalayim, you have to have Beis Hamikdash. So maaser sheni is the bechor's best friend. The both stuff that has to be eaten in Yerushalayim. So to maaser sheni, you need to have Beis Hamikdash 2024. Very, very sad. Another Tisha B'Av went by. No Beis Hamikdash. They said you can't eat your maaser sheni. Frek the Gemara. That's not so simple to compare B'chor and maaser sheni. Why? Male B'chor shekanton matan domim ve'imurin legabe mizbeach. Oh, a B'chor is way more heavy, severe, stringent, important than maaser sheni. A bechor, forget about the technical bringing. The halacha is a bechor is a korban. A bechor requires blood in imurin. Imurin are the fats, the innards, yeah, that are brought to the mizbeach. And the mizbeach, maaser doesn't. Maaser has nothing to do with the mizbeach. Maaser is between me and myself. I travel from Ranana to Yerushalayim and I eat. Finished. So maybe Bechor requires Kedisha, needs Beis Hamikdash. Maaser is way below in the hierarchy. So maybe Maaser really doesn't require Beis Hamikdash. And I will go from Ranan and I will eat it in Yerushalayim if there's no Beis Hamikdash. So the Gemara, no, don't get excited. Bikkurim Yechichu, here comes our star. Here comes our local hero. Bikkurim will prove that claim wrong. Which claim? Let's see. That attempt to differentiate between Bechor and maaser sheni will be disproven, refuted by Bikkurim. Why? Excuse me. Bikkurim Yechichu. Bikkurim, is there any blood? Any imurim in Bikkurim? Bikkurim is very vegetarian. Feel good. You bring the basket with the fruit, yeah, all the veggies that love to do Bikkurim. There's no blood, yeah, and no sweat and no tears. There's no mizbech whatsoever. Yeah, there's no, and yet Bikkurim do require, yeah, and yet Bikkurim do require pnei habayis, which means they require, they require to have Beis Hamikdash. They require Beis Hamikdash. Meaning, you wanted to tell me, you know why Bechor requires pnei habayis? It requires to have the existence of Beis Hamikdash, whole beautiful building full of kedusha. You know what? Of course. Bechor needs it because it's a korban with the heilige blood and the imurim. And maaser is not. No, you're wrong. Because look, Bikkurim also require, we don't know why now, but let's just take the facts now, yeah? Bikkurim also have to have, you can't take your Bikkurim from your house in Parnei Shomron, wherever you live, you can't take your Bikkurim, eat them in Yerushalayim without Beis Hamikdash, and that is in spite of the fact that Bikkurim have no blood and have no imurim. So blood and imurim is not cause for needing the existence of Beis Hamikdash. So maybe maaser sheni you'll be able to eat, yeah, only with Beis Hamikdash, just like Bechor, yeah. And it says the Gemara, no. Male Bikkurim sheketunim hanocho. Bikkurim have another plus, another chumrah. Bikkurim, as opposed to maaser, have another chumrah, and that it was hanocho. Hanocho. Bikkurim require hanocho. Nobody's allowed to eat the Bikkurim, not even the Kohen himself, without hanocha, as we all know, right? You require hanocha, and that's why by Bikkurim you require to have the existence of Beis Hamikdash. But by maaser sheni, no, maaser sheni doesn't have hanocha, doesn't have blood and imurim. Maaser is very light, and therefore maybe maaser does not require Beis Hamikdash, and I will go from Ranana and will eat my figs, bug-free figs in Yerushalayim, because maaser it's below Bechor and it's below Bikurim. No such requirements. Come and eat it without Beis Hamikdash. No. So what's the maskana? Talmud loymar ve'ochalta sham lifnei Hashem Elokecha. That's the pasuk. That's a pasuk with the positive commandments. You should eat in front of Hashem. And what were the items mentioned in this pasuk? Many items. One of them is maaser gon chotirosh chavitzorecha uvchoirois koch mitzorecha. So because maaser and bchoros are, as we say, juxtaposed, makish maaser lebchor. This is not refutable. When I was telling you my own pshat, my own logic, you can kill my logic with your maaser, with a bikurim. Now I'm telling you, listen, it's a hekesh. Hekesh is like Hashem talking to you directly. It's not me in my logic. It's Hashem telling me. Maaser and Bechor are lumped together in the same pasuk. Ma Bechor eno lefnei habayis, af Maaser eno lefnei habayis. Punto, period, full stop. So basically, what's a maskana? We don't need any human logic here. It's all AI. Yeah, it's all it's TI, Torah intelligence. Yeah, it's all Torah intelligence here. It's pashut. The Torah says Bikurim. Bikurim also. Leave alone Bikurim for now, because now we are comparing in the pasuk. The pasuk mentions together maaser, sheni, and Bechor. Boom. Now they became twins for life. Just like Bechor, as we'll see later, requires Beis Hamikdash in order to be eaten in Yerushalayim, so to maaser sheni requires Beis Hamikdash in order to eat in Yerushalayim. Since sadly Tafshin Daled we're not there yet, so stay home with your maaser sheni, redeem it on money, and then eat it. Okay. Now, but why did we get to that whole brisa? Can you tell me how we got here? Where's the GPS? Where's the Waze? We wanted to know about which point is a crucial point for the Kohen to eat Bikurim. And what did Rav Sheshes say? Hanocha and not Kriya. That's the proof. Rav Shesh's proof is backed by Rabbi Yossi. Let's see how the Gemara says it. Remember when we spoke about Bikurim is a way to, right, to be the go between to differentiate between Bechor and Maaser. We're about Bikurim. And what did we say about Bikurim? Bikurim require Hanocho. Ooh, Hanocho, is that all? Ve'im Isa, if you think otherwise, if you think not like Rav Sheshes, if you think you need both Hanocho and Kriya, then you should have said it. Lifroich, the Gemara should have said the Pircha, Mali Bikurim sheken tunin Kriya ve'Hanocho. Aha. The Gemara, the Mishnah should have, or the Brisa should have said, when talking about the ikuv of Bikurim, to show how choshev Bikurim are more than maaser sheni, the lowly one, then what? You should have said the whole shebang, kriya and anacha. You didn't. You said anacha, bingo. Now I know, says Rav Sheshes from the Mishnah, the Brisa, that I'm right. Anacha alone is the only thing required, because somehow only hanacha is mentioned here. You see, hanacha is the only one that's makev. Rav Sheshes is now very nicely backed by the Brisa of Rabbi Yossi. Omer Rav Ashi, says Rav Ashi, excuse me. Neidi ikuv aleika, even though, let's say you're right. Let's say the ikuv is not there, meaning as I don't know if you're listening to my nuances, yeah, basically I keep telling you, even if it's not me'akev, it's for sure something that has to be done, right? Yeah, b'di'evid you eat one matzah and leila seder, l'chitchila you have to have like 5, yeah? I'm saying, b'di'evid and l'chatchila. So says the Gemara, neededly ukuv aleika, even if you're right, let's say you're right, and kriya, the calling and the reading and the saying is not me'akev, okay, fair enough, let's say right, mitzvah mileika, still it's a mitzvah to read, it's still a mitzvah, it's a mila of bikurim, lechatchila, you're supposed to do hanocha and kriya, v'leima mitzvah v'lifroch. When the Gemara wants to show the strength, the Brisa before, wants to show the chumrah, the severity, the importance of bikurim, it should have mentioned hanocha and kriya. And why doesn't it? Even if it's not makiv with the Evid, it's still strange. You're coming to describe what bikurim are, and you're missing. It's like somebody would ask you, a Chiloni would ask you, what are you supposed to do in the Seder? And you'll say, you eat kazais matzah and 4 cups of wine. It's no. There are 10 other things you do. If you want to describe it lechatchila, speak lechatchila dik, and that would be a better pircha. It shows you how much more bikurim are more chomer than maaser sheni. So still, even if you're right that it's only me'akev anocha only is me'akev, not kriya. Why doesn't Brisa mention anocha and kriya? Ela must be a whole different reason. Ela, there's a different reason why kriya is not mentioned. You know why kriya is not mentioned? Not because yes or no me'akev. Amar Vashi, kevan, because the Ika Bikurei Hager, the Bai Lememer Shonish Bashem Lavoiseinu, Velomatzi Omar, Loi Psika Le full stop, which means, what's the name of the ger? You know the name of the ger. Yeah, Avram. Avram M. So now, Avram Aleh, he moved from Texas to Israel, and he now has a field, and he wants to bring Bikurim. He wants to go out to Beis HaMikdash, and he wants to say, so excited to join our nation, and he wants to say, what part of the text that he's supposed to say is the land that the Lord has given, Nish Bashem la avoiseinu. Hashem gave the land to our fathers, to our forefathers, to our ancestors, and then everybody coughs politely. I'm sorry, Mr. Mackenzie. We love you so much. I have no idea how much we love and appreciate you moving all the way. You made a very long way, but you cannot say the words Lavosenu because Abraham, the biblical Abraham, not your father. Neither Isaac and Jacob. Yeah, you feel very spiritually connected to them, and it's amazing. But says an opinion in halacha again that brings bikurim maybe the einoi koire. The ger may bring bikurim because he has part in the land. Let's say he bought the land, but he cannot be koire. He cannot pronounce, and declare lavoseinu because they're not your fathers, and therefore loi psikale, meaning because there are many cases of gerim, and there are other cases of people who bring, but they don't read. That's why we didn't speak about kriya. Yeah, let's say in half the seder tables they eat something and half they don't. I don't know, some type of karpas and rice. We don't. Our neighbors do. Yeah, it's not everyone is kriya halachically. Some people do kriya, and the gerim. The other cases too, they're in Bikkurim, they don't do Kriya. That's why the Brisa didn't mention Kriya, because loy psikale, it's not through and through. It's not across the board. Now, says the Ritva, there's a longish, not very long Ritva here, and I saw this morning. The Ritva says that this is not the halacha, l'choira, so it's a big question here, because the halacha, when a ger brings Bikurim, some say he doesn't bring it all, some say maybe ve'nekoire, like our current opinion here, and some say that maybe ve'koire. Some people say, and as far as I know, that's halacha, the ger should bring bikurim, and he may say lavoseinu. How can he say lavoseinu? Genealogically speaking, his forefathers were who? The founding fathers. Yeah, they came with a Mayflower, not Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, right? The Seder. So, what do you say? Why can he say lavoseinu?
Part of the clock.
Yeah, but is he really his father? Get more specific. Hashem said about Avram, Av Hamoin Goim Nesaticha. Avram is the father of many nations. Instead of Avram, you have the humdrum. The ham at the end of the name Avraham means Hamon. What's Hamon? A lot. Avram is the father of many, many nations, i.e., he is the father of all the Gerim that will come to be under the wings of the Shekhinah. And that's why the Gerim, when Mackenzie davens Shmoneh Esrei, what do you think he says at the beginning? Elokei Yisrael. There are such opinions. No, the Ger says Elokeinu Elokei. He says our fathers, and he's again. Why? Because Avram was the father of all of them. Frek the Ritva. What about Yitzchak and Yaakov? He doesn't say about Yitzchak and Yaakov that they're Av Hamon Goim. So how can he say Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Avoseinu, relating to all three? Says the Ritva Yesoid. All shlosha avos are one body. It's a big yesod. All three aspects of the same thing. The all merkava l'shchina, chesed, gvura, tiferes. The three avos are all one unit. Yeah, that is each one took one aspect of the three. Chesed, gvura, tiferes. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, chuta meshulash. Yeah, rope of three strings. So therefore, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov are really all one body. And just like Avram has the midah tchuna of Avram and Goim. Sorry, Yitzchak v'Yaakov. Our Mishnah, he has a whole problem how to settle it with our Brisa. I didn't get it, to be honest with you. I was rushed, but Lamaisa, our Brisa seems to follow the opinion, not like we know nowadays from davening, This brisa seems to be following the opinion that a ger does not say avoseinu because he can't, and that's why the brisa didn't mention the story of kriya, because kriya is yes, no, maybe so question, and therefore it's not mentioned in the brisa, and therefore it does not prove Rav Sheshes right. Did you realize what happened here? Yeah, Rav Shesh is not proven right. Rav Shesh is not proven right, because could be that when you do have to do kriya, it is ma'akev. Yeah, why did you bring this brisa? Rav Sheshes says Hanoch is ma'akev, kriya is not ma'akev. Look, we saw other opinions. Here, you see the brisa. The brisa says Hanoch, not kriya. Says the Gemara, not necessarily so. I'm not saying you're wrong, but you don't have a proof from the brisa. Could be the brisa didn't mention kriya, not because it's not ma'akev. If I'm a regular Yisrael, the son of Yisrael, Yisrael, I have to do kriya, and the kriya is ma'akev. Maybe. Why didn't Brisa mention it? Because the Brisa was more broad-minded. The Brisa thought of all kinds of situations, such as gerim, or people don't have to do kriya, and therefore maybe too late to this, and therefore we didn't mention it. That's why. The Seder. Weiter. Yeah.
When a bachor is brought for sacrifice, don't they do semicha and say a prayer on the animal before it goes?
No, we said the bchor doesn't need smicha. Don't you remember? We said the bchor. Excuse me. Let me just. The bchor doesn't need smicha. Weiter. Frag. Now we're still gonna analyze. Go back now to the brisa. Let's just quickly summarize the brisa. What did the brisa say? The mahalach. What did we try to say in the brisa? If you missed it, here's your chance. The brisa wanted to find out. I'm a nice Jewish boy. I live in RBS, and I have an olive tree, let's say, right? Okay, good. I bought it from the area. Let's say I do, I don't. And then what? I want to know if my maaser sheni can be eaten in Yerushalayim, yes or no, right? We say, oh, Bechor is the name of the game. Just like Bechor is also something has to be eaten in Yerushalayim. And by Bechor, it is a me'akev. It's a must to have Beis HaMikdash. You cannot eat your korban Bechor if there's no Beis HaMikdash. Even if you overcome the bringing of the korban, ignore that. But the Bechor cannot be eaten without Beis HaMikdash. We'll see later why. Maaser is Bechor's buddy. Maaser is the same. Just like Bechor has to have Beis HaMikdash, so to Maaser has to have Beis HaMikdash. Then the Gemara said, no, Mapitam. Bechor is more severe, more choshuv. Bechor, the korban, blood, fire, mizbeach. What are you comparing it to Maaser? Maaser is not a korban. They said, no, Bikkurim. Bikkurim, they don't have blood, and Bikkurim are nice fruit, and yet Bikkurim require Beis HaMikdash. So then that's out of the game. It's not a point to be being a korban is not a reason to require Beis HaMikdash. You see, Bikkurim also require Beis HaMikdash, but the Gemara said no. But Bikkurim have another chumrah, Hanocha. Bikkurim have a chumrah that Maaser doesn't, and then what? Hanocha. Hanocha is something that is there only by Bikkurim. You can't do without Hanocha. That's why you need Beis HaMikdash. And now, okay, so then we said, okay, out of the game. We're breaking all this logic back and forth. We run away to a different way, to a different direction. Pasuk. It's Pashut Hekesh. Leave me alone with logic. I just read the Torah. The Torah says B'chol and Maaser in the same Pasuk. All is good. I don't care about Chumra and Kula anymore. The Torah is the one equalizing them. Just like B'chol is Beis HaMikdash is required, so to maaser sheni, Beis HaMikdash is required. 2024, very sadly, don't eat your maaser sheni in Yerushalayim. On the heels of that, that was good. I think that now we're churning it over. Zog the Gemara, v'teisi frag the Gemara b'me'atzad. Why did you need the pasuk to compare maaser sheni and b'chol? Pashut. Really, you could have said b'me'atzad. What's b'me'atzad? B'me'atzad is a logic that applied many times in the Gemara. Atzad the shava means like that. Look, Bechor has a chumrah of being a korban, but being a korban is still proven not to be the reason for acquiring Beis HaMikdash from Maaser. Maaser has hanocha, so what? Bechor has no hanocha. This is what we should have said. Bechor, there's no din to plunk the Bechor. There's no din hanocha, and yet it requires Beis HaMikdash. So now let's say like this: Bechor and Maaser Bechor and Bikkurim, don't share any chumrah together. There's no common denominator. So what's a common denominator? B'me'atzad. both of them should be eaten in Yerushalayim, and both should require Beis Hamikdash. And now we can lump maaser. Maaser should also be in the club of requiring Beis Hamikdash, because maaser at the end of the day is also something eaten in Yerushalayim, and neither placing near the mizbech or being a korban is a player, because you see that every item, the other item, doesn't need that chumrah to be eaten in front of Beis Hamikdash dafka. Answers the Gemara, no. Shekin yesh ben tzad mizbeach, full stop. That's what I thought right from the beginning. Tzad mizbeach means as follows. There is a common denominator. Both the Bechol and the Bikkurim, they don't have one chumrah here, one there flying in outer space. No, the chumras are very similar. They're both mizbeach related. The Bechol you have to bring on the mizbeach. Bikurim you have to put next to the mizbeach, not anywhere you feel like on, I don't know, lishkas agodis. It has to be next to the mizbeach. Meshenkin maaser has no mizbeach in it whatsoever. Now it's very, very good. Mitzad the logic, they beat him, maaser. Bechol and Bikurim both require Beis Hamikdash because you need the mizbeach. Mizbech has to be there. Either Mizbech has to have the blood spilled to the Imurim, or in the case of Bikurim, you need the Mizbech to place the basket right next to it. Maaser has no connection to Mizbech whatsoever. And therefore, Maaser, from my own logic, I would say, hey, I don't need the Mizbech. I don't need Beis Hamikdash. I'll come from Ra'anana, take my apples, oranges, Zeisim, and Anovim, eat them in Yerushalayim, because maaser is significantly, intrinsically lighter, more lean than the other ones. It doesn't have any connection to the mizbech. You can close your eyes, not look at the Beis Hamikdash, and just eat it in Yerushalayim. You don't have to enter the Beis Hamikdash Mechlal or do anything with the mizbech. So maybe you don't need Beis Hamikdash to even exist there. Oh, for that comes the pasuk and says, no, the Torah itself, the Torah Alein, is makish. The Torah says, just like Bechol and Maaser are mentioned in the same pasuk, in the same club. So that's beyond logic. Just like Bechol requires Beis Hamikdash, so to Maaser requires Beis Hamikdash, and halacha l'Maaser, do not take your maaser sheni to Yerushalayim to eat. Halavai, very soon. But as long as Beis Hamikdash is not there, just like Bechol needs Beis Hamikdash to exist there, so to maaser sheni. Very good. Now, tomorrow, still on the same subject. That's a very, very good place to stop. Well, not tomorrow, Sunday, see you on Sunday. I don't want to sound like a priest. That's why I don't say see you on Sunday. Well, Makkos, Atzlacha V'racha, people on Torah Anytime and YouTube. We are holding Makkos in Daf Yutes Amud Aleph. So Sunday, Be'ez Hashem, we'll learn Yutes Amud Beis, the health of the Eibishter. Thank you, all of you. And now Tzvi will make an announcement. No?